Oh, people in Taiwan? It's funny because I have thought about running in Taiwan.
Hello to the fans in Taiwan. I hope you're going to enjoy the movie when eventually you get to see it.
Hi, Taiwan.
Hello. Hello, all the fans in Taiwan. Hello to the ET Today fans too.
What's up, Taiwan? How are you?
Hi, 各位 ET Today 的朋友们，大家好，我是郑恺。
Hey, Taiwan. Hi.
你好 Is that right?
ET Today. Hey, hey.
Hello， 欢迎收看《星光好选择》，我是主持人丽哲。光辉的10月，这是星光的光哦。11月17号即将要举办第55届金马奖颁奖典礼，所以从现在开始，星光好选择每个礼拜都会陆续推出许多金马相关的独家报道，尤其是许多超级大咖的导演专访哦。我们沙发头推当然就是要来介绍台湾的强片这部《幸福城市》，哇，一口气入围了最佳女配角、最佳男配角、最佳新演员跟最佳原著剧本。最佳原著剧本的这位写剧本的何卫庭，其实同时也是《幸福城市》的导演哦。他被视为是本届金马奖入围最佳导演奖项的最大遗珠之一。赶快来看看《幸福城市》导演何卫庭，还有李红旗以及法国新秀也是主要演员之一的 Louise Grinberg 独家专访。
ET Today 的朋友们，大家好，我是李红旗，欢迎大家收看《星光好选择》。
一起走。
幸福城市是一个说什么样的故事呢？
幸福城市，他在讲一个人这一生中3个阶段：60岁的时候，当他18岁的时候，当他18岁的时候。所以你在这3个晚上看到他的一生，大概能够解构他为什么这一生怎么过的。题目虽然是叫幸福城市，可是它不是一个温馨爱情或者喜剧小品。
对，他看了会落泪的，对不对？
不太一样。
我这个阶段是老中青的，算中间吧。我这个角色呢，名字叫张东林，然后是一个警察，然后他有一个女儿，还有一个太太。然后在那个晚上呢，他的工作、家庭，在一个瞬间全部爆裂了，就全部都已经松散了、毁灭了。然后这时我就遇到了戏中里面阿朗没有度过一个很特别的朋友。
好了，我们一起走。
Anything happened that night?
A lot of things happened. I came to Taipei to shoot the movie. It was my first time in Taiwan.
How do you like Taiwan?
Yeah, I like Taiwan a lot. This is really different than France, and it was my first time in Asia.
Oh, in Asia.
So it was amazing. Love.
导演怎么会找到路易莎来演这部戏的呢？为什么选她？
我们在巴黎找了，见了很多人，然后最后我发现他
海选就对了。
也不算海选，基本上就是尽量能够找的、问的都问，然后主要是我觉得他有一种灵气，然后他有一种气质。其实我是碰到他之后，还特别为了他调了一些角色，我希望我的角色像他。而不是他去配合那个角色。
你是原本就设定好了这个故事是要一个法国女子邂逅台湾男子吗？
对对，我喜欢法国，我喜欢法国电影，然后我觉得是一个很浪漫的一个地方嘛。对小张来说，你要设一个目标，那目标是很梦幻的。而且我觉得你如果找日本或者韩国外籍女孩，其实还不够远，你要让小张有一个很遥远的梦想。
这算是你个人的幻想吗？就是你的 fantasy 吗？
你想太多了，谢谢。
I miss you so much.
Are they romantic to you?
The two guys?
Yeah, two guys.
Of course.
红旗觉得自己是个浪漫的人吗？
浪漫啊。
对啊，
浪不浪漫这件事情，还是要我的对方是谁，我的对手是谁，包括我在哪一个地方哪一个环境。那我觉得基本上这一部戏应该演出来给观众感觉应该会挺浪漫的。
那真实生活中的你浪漫吗？你做过最浪漫的事是什么？
可能我会在喜欢的女孩子家的远方的窗户面前放很多烟火吧。
真的吗？你真的做这样的事情吗？
对，就是因为我住在金山，
哦，
可能乡下嘛，然后放鞭炮在路上随便放，不是随便放，就是在一个安全地方放是没问题的。所以会在我知道那个女孩子的窗户在哪里，所以会摆一排烟火，生日放烟火，大家窗户就可以看到，我觉得她窗户。
哇，那其实红旗现在接很多不同类型的电影哦，两岸三地有好多不同的。你觉得你挑选角色的标准是什么？
我觉得第一个最主要的还是我跟导演有没有默契，这很重要。因为我觉得有时候跟导演合作起来，我们必须要有一个很好的信任感。
对，
因为这个东西因为我觉得这东西有时候，即使剧本没到那么好，我们因为两个人的沟通会变得更好。但这一次主要会接《幸福城市》的一个原因，是因为我觉得剧本非常好，因为过去的很多的故事，我看到的都会是非常的大概想得到、猜得到，有一个公式在吧？这样子。对，但是我看到《幸福城市》就是它会一直不断丢出很多问题给我，然后会想要让我继续看下去，会想要得到一个解答，包括说它里面有很多荒谬的举动。但是你又好像能理解这个角色为什么要这样做，所以你就会很好奇，会想要去尝试说，甚至挑战说，我到底可以做到哪里？所以这是我挑选剧本，包括这一次跟幸福城市的一个合作的一个想法。
那你选剧本，你选角色，你会喜欢他跟你自己比较像，还是他跟你完全不同？
我觉得像不像这件事情，我真的很难说，因为有时候。哪一个角色像我真的不知道。对，因为
所以戏演多了都不认识自己了，会有这种感觉吗？
我觉得或许吧，就是自己到底是怎么样的，根本就不知道。就是我都跟别人说，演自己，但是这又不是演自己。包括可能过去我一些作品，就是包括我现在跟你这样聊天的感觉，跟我戏里的角色完全不一样。但是很多观众或者是我很熟悉的朋友看，又觉得那是我，所以到底哪一个是我会不知道。这个东西有点玄学吧，所以我也就尽量尝试。
这也是当艺人辛苦的一面哦。那导演觉得他的表现呢？
很棒啊，
真的哦，
很棒。你来看《幸福城市》，你会在这部电影里面找到自己。
这是我觉得在2018年最出彩的台湾电影。赞。
And Louise, the best reason to see this film?
Best reason to see my film.
Pressure. 登月先锋英文片名 First Man， 大陆跟香港片名直接翻译叫做登月第一人哦，所以就一语道破，告诉你他是第一个登上月球的太空人，也就是阿姆斯壮的故事。比较特别的是，这整个从幕前一直到幕后的团队，正是La La Land越来越爱你的金奖团队。从男主角莱恩·葛斯林、导演达米恩·查泽雷，以及幕后的摄影、配乐等等，通通都是原班人马来拍登月先锋。不过，其实这两部片真的是差异很大，一部是音乐剧，一部是传记电影，前后这么跳痛，两部作品来看看这群团队要如何展现。
For the journey up into space, they are flying up into the sky, in these like shaky, fragile machines. We want to sell it as like an intense and hostile journey that any little mistake could cost them their lives. So what we did is we tried to break it down into like various stages by building up in intensity by like sometimes morphing like the rocket sound or heavy turbulence shaking into like something, adding an animal roar or burst out of like an explosion or a metal creak or groan. I mean, the thing is, Damien kind of like to build it up into like something where it's so unexpected from the audience, just to surprise them and take them aback and overwhelm them, and building up into something like really loud moments that suddenly drops into silence or quiet. So these like playing around with dynamics helps, hopefully helps make it uneasy for the audience. Damien wants it to have like this chilling and calming effect. So sometimes we play it as like pure silence, but sometimes we found some like low tone that has this kind of calming but a little spooky vibe. So yeah.
What's the weirdest sound that you used in this movie, and what was it?
In terms of like, if you're flying in a spacecraft, I mean, reality is you don't hear any animal sounds, but for us, so we added some like animal sounds, like besides like a lion roar or a horse, or we added like the elephant growl and roar in it. I mean, hopefully you may not really.
Can you tell?
Maybe, not that you know it.
Yeah, I think maybe if you listen for it, you can, but I don't think anyone who has no idea about it, I don't think they would hear that.
Yeah.
It sounds like it sounds so much like the roar of a rocket. The roar of the rocket and the roar of the animals all kind of meld together.
What was the inspiration to use animal sound?
It's something organic that can also be, big in size. We've already recorded, a bunch of like turbulence, shakes and rattles, and real rocket sounds in the movie, and just adding explosions and all that. It's just to take it a step further. And with animal sounds, it can be easily manipulated to play with all these other organic sounds. It's just something organic.
Neil, everyone's in agreement. We need you to be commander.
There are several things about being in space that are really great to do. One is that you get to float. You get to move around quite easily. The other thing is that you don't have too many people to talk to.
Do you think it's scary or it's beautiful?
It's only scary in the minds of people who've never been there. I would say that if you asked what the scariest part was, it'd be launch, because that's the one time when the thing could blow up on you. Outside of that, it's really very comfortable. I've watched all of the current space movies, and I can criticize every single one of them. They're all wrong, so far wrong, I can't believe it. But the one that really has stayed with me, and the one that I think is really tells the story, is Space Odyssey 2001.
Aliens.
Do I believe in aliens? Yes. Somebody asked me once if I'd ever seen an alien, and I say, I see one every morning. When I get up and go look in the mirror. We are probably the aliens. I have a sneaking suspicion our ancestors came from somewhere else.
This is the second time you worked with Ryan, and from a romantic musician to the first man on the moon. Did you see any change in him?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's two different types of movies, and I think both working with Ryan and with Damien as a director, for me it was amazing to see that change between doing something romantic, whimsical, and playful, do something that digs under a character's skin, and it's a real person that Ryan had to discover, and we tried to visually get under his skin. Tell the story as truthful and raw and realistic as possible, which was such a different style of making a film from what we did with La La Land. And to me, it was so powerful to see, both with Ryan and with Claire Foy, who also was, I think, brilliant and very emotional,
You just mentioned this is a totally different project. A musical versus this is more like a drama and
social realistic drama, almost going to space. It's like Damien said early on too, he wanted it to feel like it's a kitchen drama and it's about the moon. It's like the greatest contrast. It has such a great dynamic and dramatic span, the story, where you're we both want to be very intimate and raw and realistic, but also see the scope of the magical universe, you know, which is so strange.
They're gone, Neil.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
At what cost?
Well, it's a little bit late for that question, isn't it, sir?
The biggest challenge is the depth of the research on two fronts, both on the personal front to really try to understand Neil, and then on the technical front to really try to understand the machines that he was flying into space. Neil was an emotionally tightly packaged man, as Jim Henson, his biographer, will tell you. We spent a lot of time trying to get underneath, you know, who he was and what did he actually go through. I think a lot of people view him as an icon, as a superhero. He was an ordinary guy who had to deal with a lot of tragedy and loss on his way to the moon, a lot of failure. And that failure, I think, defined him, and I think it helps us understand that, you know, these great achievements which we try to, you know, reach for, and they're not easy, they're hard, right? And it's only by putting in the work and the sacrifice that we can get there. And so for that, Mark and Rick and really all of the family were tremendously helpful. In addition to people he knew working as an astronaut, whether it was Mike Collins or Gene Matranga when he was flying for NASA out at Edwards. The technical was a whole other level. We had a lot of very good help to try to get the details right, because the details were very, very important to us. And I think what makes the film, I think, so powerful is both what we get right on the personal front, but also what we get right in the technical detail that makes you see how hard this journey really was.
How long you spent on working on the research?
I started working on the film in 2014. It's been 4 years of pretty intensive, hardcore research. I continue to learn things every day.
What's going on, Neil?
好，接下来这一部5、6年级生都会相当有 feel 的恐怖片《月光光心慌慌》，哇，它可是40年前正宗的《月光光心慌慌》的续集哦。注意这个“新”字很不一样，续集很巧妙的变成 new 新的这个字，我个人觉得蛮有创意的哦。而这部电影的英文片名就叫做 Halloween 万圣节，所以在万圣节档期看是特别应景的。而这部电影描述从小到大都是疯狂杀人魔的故事，40年前才花了30万美金小成本拍摄，没想到在全球票房卖破了7000万美金，大卖234倍耶！还被美国国家图书馆以重要文化历史跟美学价值为由列入国家电影的登记表。恐怖片能够达到这样子的境界，真的是不容易哦。而当年的女主角这位 Jamie Lee Curtis， 就是因为演了这部片，在全球爆红。40年后，已经快要60岁的她正宗回归，而且在续集里面，他还亲自当监制哦。独家红毯专访就在星光好选择。
Make a sequel for the iconic movie like Halloween.
There's always a lot of pressure when you're redoing a movie that's been done a lot of times because people have certain expectations. They want it to be new and they want it to be like the other ones. So we kind of got to walk the line in the middle, and hopefully we did that. You'll see tonight.
Michael Myers escaped.
He is a killer, but he will be killed tonight.
Jamie, it was wonderful to see you reprise. You're not only acting in this one, you're also the producer. Was it you initially wanted to do it, or this project?
No. They came to me. I was the last thing I thought I would be doing this year was a Halloween movie. But I was very happy to be doing it. Very happy.
Is it hard to convince you to go for this one?
Did you do anything new in this movie?
You have to see it.
You don't believe in the boogeyman? You should.
Michael Myers is iconic, horrifying, brutal. He has now become a classic movie monster.
Michael Myers is a force of evil. He is ruthless.
That killed 3 innocent teenagers on a Halloween in 1978, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity.
It's not a werewolf. It's not Hannibal Lecter.
There is no motivation.
There is no rhyme or reason.
He's waited for this night.
The monster under the bed, the man in the closet.
He's waited for me.
There's no praying to a God to save you from him. It won't work.
I've waited for him.
Michael!
恐怖片当道 ，HBO 也要来加入战局了。虽然是影集，不过这6部影集相当特别哦。亚洲怪谈分别是属于6个东南亚国家代表性的鬼故事，而且每一集都是一部独立电影，都是一个真实恐怖片的翻拍，就很像台湾的红衣小女孩一样。整部影集的总制作人，他也是新加坡片的导演哦，就说其实原本台湾也是在受邀拍摄的影集行列的。如果这6部影集受欢迎的话，在下一波亚洲怪谈第2季，我们就有机会看到台湾片了。立哲还同时专访了泰国片的导演，他所拍的《皮bộ坡欧》的故事，本身就是泰国相当知名的阿飘，就好像我们听过的《幽魂娜娜》一样，在泰国是热门的鬼片影视题材，至少被翻拍过14次以上哦。而这2位导演在拍片的过程中，也都有亲身经历一些不可思议的现象。来看看我们的独家专访。What was the idea to have such episodes?
Well, you know, I've been a big fan of this Twilight Zone television series as a little boy. So it's black and white. Series, and who got me into horror was actually my mother. So by the time I saw The Exorcist, I wasn't even scared anymore. I was wondering, how did they make this girl's head go 360 degrees round and round? And I became immune to horror. So when HBO approached us and said, you know, do you have any idea for a series or whatever? I thought, how about we do something, you know, within the region, because, you know, in Asia, we all believe in ghosts.
Right.
I feel that anybody can do good horror. And then I thought, yeah, those episodes would then really live distinctly, uniquely, you know, from
different
culture in
countries,
which, you know, and
cultures.
also the folklore, you know, and
Right.
the interesting spirits, you know.
Some of the directors never direct a horror film before. For example,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Yeah.
This is the first time. You are afraid of the scary movies before, right?
Just not interested.
Really?
I'm just like, I just don't have an interest in horror films, you know. Usually the ghost will victimize the human.
Right.
Like in a ghost story, you know. But I have an idea of like, why don't we could make a ghost being a victim? I thought it could be an interesting idea. The thing about Thai horror film is that apart from being scary, it has to be comedy as well.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
And the joke is so stupid. You know? It has to be a kind of really low brow, really broad kind of joke, which is, I think, it's really like a very endearing quality of Thai horror.
That's a style. I mean, a Thai horror film style. You have to be humor. By the end of the films, it has heart. But you make it into black and white. Do you worried about like people? I mean, fans' reaction to see a black and white movies?
I'm not worried about anything. he has to worry, not me.
HBO figured out, why is it black and white?
No, actually, when the first time when I submitted the treatment to HBO, they had a lot of notes, long notes, a lot of comments. I think half of them I couldn't even answer because they ask you about what is the motivation of this character, what's like really film school stuff, you know, like really film school language. And my producer said, there's a rule in HBO that, you know, you cannot do black and white. Didn't you read it? He asked me if I didn't read it. I said, I didn't read anything. Luckily, when they saw the rough cut,
they liked it.
They're okay. They liked enough.
But they initially were really freaking out. In black and white on TV, it's like, turn people off. Because it's like it's a cheaper thing to look at.
But now
because
that you saw,
now
perfect.
You know, for me, already.
Can you imagine that in color?
Cannot work. It cannot work.
So, did you guys experience anything in person for the spiritual encounter?
I don't like. We shot in a really creepy, abandoned hospital.
Wow, that's where the stories comes.
Right, and the entire crew, every one of them experienced something.
Really?
Yeah, they heard something. There's this red light that keeps going, like emergency lights, keeps going on at the nurse ward. But there's no patients anymore. It's abandoned. But we have a few nurses. They have to come and take care of us, open the hospital, close up.
Okay.
So a few nurses were there. The art director, I think, he went and told the nurse that the red light is going on in the nurse's ward. And then she asked, like, but from which room? There's numbers, right? And the art director said like 201 or something. And then I said, okay, let's go and pray. so it's actually not.
So there's
not
a famous 201.
Everyone got some kind of experience except me. I had one. I was with my headphones, and suddenly I hear these children playing.
In your earphone?
In the headphones. Ooh. And of course, it's a band. So I said, can anyone hear like children playing? And everyone said, no, we don't hear it. The continuity girl, she also has an earphone, and she said, I heard it. But then I went to the sound guy, and he didn't hear it. So finally, I'm being haunted like everyone else. I'm so happy, right? I'm so happy.
Ghost is not scared of you.
So I'm so happy. The camera assistant, the focus puller, he said, oh, there are children playing downstairs. I went out to smoke. There are really children playing.
Oh, wow.
So
how about you, Eric?
It's actually, for my episode, right, we shot in the jungles and all that, right? We had a Malay bomo keeps away the rain. He tells my producer, and he says, you tell everybody on set not to say anything bad. No cursing or anything, because since there's actually a lot of hantu, a lot of spirits.
Oh wow! So you can see.
And they're not very happy really with you guys being here. And then we did this shot, which was in the finale, right, where this guy sort of falls backwards, right? And we had a lot of pillows on the ground. And so he fell down once, fell down second, and finally for the actual take, right, as we were filming it, he fell down, but for some reason he missed the pillows and he hit his head onto a pipe. And he was almost like, in a daze for like several minutes. We had to pull out the wig and really worried that it was bleeding. And then after that we said, okay, it's a wrap. I mean, let's get the hell out of here, right? But the next morning I asked him, what exactly happened? He said, as he was trying to do that fall again, there was a tree in front of him. But as he looked up, he saw a form squatting on the branch. Some figure. So he miscalculated, he missed the pillows. I'm like, see hair standing again. So that was the scary thing. But it was amazing because we shot all the exterior scenes like 4 days. And then after that, when we finished filming, it poured. The place where we were filming just poured with rain, so much rain. And so it just showed like the medicine man, the bomo, had kept the rain away for 4 days.
Wow.
Amazing.
He's powerful.
Powerful, yeah.
we have an interesting thing in Thailand that if you don't want it to rain while you're shooting, you have to get a virgin in your crew, and then the virgin has to take a lemongrass and stick it into the ground.
Does it really work?
Well, I don't think we have a virgin in our crew. One time, one girl was really like, she's really proper and prim, so we kind of assumed that she was a virgin. So we asked her if she was a virgin, and she said, yeah, she was a virgin. She stick it and it rained immediately, you know? It's like, sorry, she's not a virgin.
That's quite interesting to know, a different culture, I mean, different tradition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kita mau nginep di sini. Punya rumah pasti juga nggak keberatan. Pasti sih nggak keberatan.
Sini bos. 快点啊，打开它。打开。
Rohnya tak tenang. Kali ini mesti boleh buat.
무슨 일인지 결혼한 내 아들이 자꾸 나타나.
Holy.
Sabar ya anakku. Tak lama lagi semuanya akan selesai.
Folklore premieres Sunday, October 7th, 10 p.m. on HBO.
好，这个礼拜的好空时间，我们要来送给大家近期的奇幻电影《低大屋的限量笔记本》。打开 开笔记本，会不会有神奇的事情发生呢？只要您分享节目，就有机会知道了。也欢迎您留言告诉立喆，点播你想要看的电影的影评。我们下个礼拜再见喽，拜拜。